Hi, my name's Andrea Salcedo and I'm a flamenco guitarist. I started playing when I was 10 years old and I'm 21 now, so I've been playing for 11 years. And I started because my oldest brother, Hugo, he plays guitar too, so I pretty much grew up listening to him play and I wanted to be like him. So when I was 10, they bought me a guitar and I started taking lessons from him, and it's stuck with me since then. For me, flamenco is what's familiar to me. Like I said before, I pretty much listened to it growing up. So in my house, there would always be Paco de Lucia playing, or Sente Amigo, or Camarón de la Isla. So it's what's familiar for me, but aside from that, flamenco as a whole is not only music, it's kind of a way of living. And it's not only about, the music that you play or being a good artist, it's also about being a good person. So that's something that I also really like about it. Well, flamenco, it's a music that comes from the southern part of Spain, which is called Andalusia. It originated there, and it's a folklore that the gypsies used to do, and there's three forms of it. There's three things that incorporate flamenco, which is the guitar, the singing, and the dancing. And this is flamenco at its most traditional form. As a music, it's a lot of improvisation within a form, and there's also a lot of, once you really know how to play it, a singer will do something that lets you know what's going on next, or the dancer will do something. So it's kind of like a communication within the art, which I think is really cool. But now it's turned from something that was like a folklore into something that's bigger. Guitarists started listening to other musics and taking a lot of the harmonic stuff and melodic influences from there. So now the guitar can play a million times more stuff than it could then. Same with the singers and the dancers. So now it's become more of a harder art form, I think, and more, not harder, but richer art form. Now, growing up in Chicago, you would think there's not really that much flamenco around, but I was fortunate enough to meet a flamenco teacher from Spain, and he spent 2 years here, and I was able to take lessons from him, and it was as if I was there, but I was really in Chicago. And not only that, I don't think that's not the only thing that helped me. There's also a small flamenco community in Chicago that also is really, it's small, but it's there. When you're doing a show alone or with other people, there's usually a lot of practicing involved. Even if I don't have a show, I try to practice every single day. My goal is to get 5 to 8 hours every single day, but I'm also a college student, so that's not something that I can do every single day. So if I only get 3 hours to practice, I try to make sure that those 3 hours are good. But then if I have 5 hours, then I make those 5 hour counts. Same if I only have 1 hour. I'm gonna make it a good hour to make up for not playing for 8 hours, I guess. But when it comes down to doing a show with somebody else or with a group, we all do our individual practice by ourselves. And then we try to come together at least once or twice to rehearse what we're gonna do. And when everybody gets together, we're not trying to let me try to learn that song real quick. By then, we all know what we're doing, and we're just trying to put the music together all at once. I feel like I'm really lucky because my parents support me 100%. When I told them that this was what I wanted to do, they told me that if that's what I wanted to do, I just needed to work really hard to make sure that I'm working towards something. And I think that's something that doesn't always happen when you're in the art field. But my parents, they support me in whatever I can. If I play a show, they'll be there, My biggest accomplishment would probably happen last 2 summers ago when I got to travel to Spain to study with a lot of flamenco teachers. I say it's an accomplishment because it was something that I wanted to do since I was a little girl. And it's one thing to say you really like flamenco and then you've never been to Spain. But then once you go there and then you see that the people are so humble, even the biggest teachers are the most humble. And then you get to interact with the people, and then you see, their everyday, how they go on about life. And it really is kind of like a life philosophy, and they just try to be good persons. I think that going there and seeing that that really was what I liked, that was really what I wanted, was probably my biggest accomplishment. That, and like going there and then they really respected the fact that I like their art so much and that I've like studied it so much. And I think that, you know, somebody from that like grew up in the southern part of Spain, or like in Spain in general, and like that's their culture. When they see somebody from the outside that really cares about them, they're like, yeah, we appreciate that you do that. And I think that was probably one of my best accomplishments, I would say. In 5 years from now, I hope to be in Spain, studying and performing. My goal is to finish my undergrad degree in music performance here first, and then head over there to continue studying. A dream of mine would be to play in the tablados, which is where flamenco is usually performed. But not only that, I also want to make sure that I have my own show and that I start like putting up play the music that I want to play and say what I want to say through my music, which is, I mean, that's the reason why I play music, so I can hopefully, you know, get to play my stuff and then hopefully inspire somebody else to do whatever it is that they want to do, whether it's music or not. So hopefully 5 years from now, that's where I see myself performing. My guitar is very, very special to me. This was my quinceañera present. So I didn't want a party, I wanted an instrument. And it was, it's from Mexico. If you see right here, that's Paco de Lucia's signature. So when he was here, I think in 2010, yeah, I got to meet him and I got to get my guitar autographed. So that's another reason why this guitar is so important to me, and so, I don't know, I really, really enjoy it. This is the one that went to Spain with me, and this is the one that I've had since I was 15, so I've been playing it for 6 years now. And this is the one that I take to school and practice every single day with. I'm just gonna play a little bit por tangos, and that's like a flamenco form. If you want to find out about where I'll be performing next, or if you just want to see some of my videos or my bio or something, you can check out my website, which is andreasalcedo.com, and there you can also find links to the rest of my social media.